I've got the choice of a McDonald's or a cake. Cool. And then you say to yourself, oh, well, I'm team lead, I'll be happy. Get to team lead. Well, I'm assistant manager, I'll be happy. You're never going to be happy. You're always going to want to progress.
Starting your fitness journey, number one thing.
Welcome to the Peak Collective podcast with myself, Luca.
And myself, Shane.
Where we talk no BS and just fitness. Shane, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boy. As you can tell, we've just done a skiing lesson. No, actually, it's not. It is just freezing cold because we live in the heart of the UK, and it's never warm, basically. And we're at the second home gym of JJK. If you have never been to a affiliate CrossFit gym, they are freezing. Because basically they're like warehouse units with a shutter. So it is freezing in here, which is why we're in the coats.
Bald man like myself, that's why I'm wearing the hat.
I've got a full head of hair, so I'm all right.
So, being the new year,
yes,
I wanted to go through what our goals are, fitness goals of the year, what we're doing, how we're going to get there, whatever. We always have them. And then what I'd like to then finish off with is then, okay, cool. If someone's just starting their fitness journey this year, what's like the quickest tips we can kind of give them?
Yeah. Let's rock it.
Hopefully, this episode will help you guys be motivated. You can see how much work we actually put through fitness-wise to actually get to where we're at, even though we've got like over a decade's experience each now training. So yeah, why don't we start off? What have you got
Literally, fitness never stops, right? I say this to my clients all the time. They're like, oh, when I get to this goal, I'm like, well, cool, what's your next goal? What's after that? Like, 10 years ago, I wouldn't think I'm doing what I am now. And then this time next year, I'll have a completely different goal.
I started training before Magaluf, like when I was 18.
That was it, literally just to get...
That was literally like, I always had this like body weight stuff and like little dumbbell curls and whatever else. But like actually started gym was just purely because me and my mates were like, we're going Magaluf. Let's go gym. That's all it was. Yeah. So like, I didn't realise that 13 years later, I'd be like, cool, I'm a PT now.
Sat here talking about it every Friday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like, even from last year, for me, when I set my goals, a few of my tests from last year, because it was just over a year I started with my coach now. I think I hit my PB bench, which was the 120, which for body weight was sick. Hit my squat after injury, which was 140. I plus 20 kiloed that this year, so happy.
Big.
And then like Fran times and like CrossFit kind of timescale workouts. And then even from this year, I've not even said about bench or anything. Like, it's such a completely different mindset to it now. So literally in 12 months, I've run like X, Y, Z and fully changed the spectrum. Like, it doesn't change if you're in this game. Yeah.
I always say to people as well, like, of course, when you first start, the hardest thing I think is more just the motivation and being consistent. I think, personally. But the actual training gets way harder the more advanced you get.
I think it has to though. I can't remember what episode this was. Like, I'm not even going to check back. It was one in the summer we did, and we were talking about like newbies and how much growth they get in the first 6 months. You can bench empty bar to 60, 70 kilo. The year after, you go from 70 to 85 kilo. Like, it gets so much harder. You have to do harder training. You got to do the 1% clubs, like the saunas, the ice baths, whatever. You got to start doing mobility as you're getting older. Like, the results become so minute, you have to do the minute stuff to be better at what you're doing.
I'm excited when I've upped weight by like 1 kg now.
Literally, like my back squat, hopefully I beat it next time I test, but obviously it was 160 when you spotted me last year. In my head, I'm like 170, 175. Like, if I get a 162 and a half, I'll be amazed. Like, it's a 2.5 kilo jump. Them little things are such a win though. And
that's it. And I think, again, we'll go through our goals in a sec, but if you are starting off, don't think, oh, when I lose the 20 pounds, I'll be happy. Or when I don't know, get fit, as in like building some 6-pack abs or whatever else, you're going to be happy. Realistic scenario, you're not going to be. No. Because if you are, there's a worrying thing, I think, personally. You have to keep consistently progressing. Doesn't mean don't be happy in your own body, but if you haven't got like a certain goal or something just to keep you going, it can be as minute as just, I'm a dad, I want to be fit and healthy into my 60s, 70s, 80s for my kids, grandkids, right? It can be as minute as that as to why you train.
Longevity.
But there has to be a goal. Yeah. There has to be some reason. Otherwise, that motivation is going to go real quick.
It's the same. We've said like the discipline in the gym can set you up for life and work and everything like that. Like, if you went to work and your boss came to you and was like, you'll get a bonus in 6 months if you hit your targets X, Y, Z. Them targets are your goals. You'll do it, so you get a better outcome from it.
Yeah.
Exactly the same applies in the gym. If you don't have the goals or the targets, you're not really going to expect much of a bonus out of your body from it.
And talking about work, like easy example, right? Is you could say, let's say you started off at Tesco, and you're Stockton Shelves, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then you say to yourself, oh well, I'm team lead, I'll be happy. Get to team lead. Well, I'm assistant manager, I'll be happy. You're never going to be happy. You're always going to want to progress, no matter who you are, right? And it's exactly the same with fitness. Exactly the same.
I'm never happy in this stuff, not anymore. It just fucking hurts.
Yeah, I was just moaning at Shane earlier that I've just got DOMs everywhere. So
Yeah. Even with us, when you change the stimulus up or do something new for a week, it hurts.
Yeah.
So that DOMs and stuff, that never goes.
I've literally halved my volume this week. I'm in more pain.
Nice.
Right, so Shane, goals of 2025. Let's go summarise, so let's just bullet point, and then we can break them down a little bit.
So be a millionaire, buy a Ferrari, own my own
Realistic.
gym. That's within the first 6 months. So do you know what? One of mine is actually really different. I could say it's training, because obviously I say to people all the time, if you don't like the gym or activities or cardio or whatever, go find a hobby, learn it. Something like playing football with your mates or rugby or whatever.
Yeah.
A big one of mine, kind of hence the jacket, but not the jacket. I want to learn to snowboard and get on a snowboarding holiday. New hobby. I've never done it before. Different type of activity. I just want to throw myself in the deep end. That's a big one for me.
Okay.
I want to try that.
Why?
Just why not? I've always been like, also when you know me, if everyone knows me, I'm such a sun kid. Like every holiday will be hot, sunny, beach, short shorts, little clothes, like literally I'll get a holiday ready, like a beach bod ready. I love a summer vibe. Fully, I just want to change it. And also, I know I'll just be shit at it. I did one lesson 5 years ago and I would just fell over all the time. If you think you've experienced DOMs, fall off a snowboard for an hour in a lesson, it is horrendous. I didn't train for like a week.
Hey,
So I just know I'm going to be bad at it.
you only
and, like,
started CrossFit not that long ago, and you're already good at it. So
well,
you never know.
average. Don't say that on
No,
camera.
he's good.
Average.
He's good.
So I want to be able to like. This is my mindset. I never used to like being bad at something, but now I'm like, cool. If I'm bad at it, I want to look back at this time next year, and I could fully just go down and do a snowboard holiday, and I'll be like, cool. I've actually done something. Yeah, I've achieved it. So that's kind of a good goal.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Anything else?
First. CrossFit compete at a high level, do well in RX. I got to an RX final last year in my first year, so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So this year, just compete higher, qualify for more finals, get another podium. I finished second in a team event in December, so maybe a podium with like a duo, pairs, or like even a solo maybe, don't know. But that'd be quite nice, but that's up there. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of like numbers and stuff, biggest thing for me this year has got to be my snatch and like my Olympic weightlifting. So technique, effortless, getting that like on point. Like I'm physically fit, I can do a lot of skills now. It's my capacity and getting better at it. So I'd say snatch and the Olympic weightlifting is my main focus for this year.
All good goals.
The hardest shit.
Yeah.
The hardest one to do.
It's not just like get 10% body fat.
No, literally, yeah.
A brand new sport.
Yeah.
On a podium at CrossFit.
And try to get
And-
like a 100 kilo snatch out
Yes.
lower. Yeah.
Cool.
Throw yourself in the
Good goals.
deep end.
Good goals. But at the same time, I think, you know, again, you got second, like you said, in December.
Yeah.
So again, it's a realistic goal that potentially you're probably going to get that again.
Yeah. Even
If not
top three,
better.
just any sort of podium. Don't have to win.
Well, snowboarding, to be honest, it's just starting it.
Yeah, I just got to do lessons.
see
Just
what
got to coach
happens.
it, yeah.
And then the Olympic lifts, realistically, you are going to get stronger at it. So
Ideally.
again, and that's a good example of like goal setting, is actually choose ones that are actually realistic.
Yeah.
Like say you weigh 400 pounds, you say I want to weigh 150 pounds by the end of the year. Could be realistic,
Yeah.
but maybe just start off a little bit.
It's half old
slow.
grind, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe say I want to lose 50 pounds first and then just
And then
go,
you
from,
go from
there.
there. Basically, just be better than last year.
Yeah.
All my things have gone up from last year. I couldn't snowboard. I did it a few years ago. I couldn't do it. So I want to be better. Better in my Olympic weightlifting because
Mm-hmm.
I was shocking last year. Also, no injuries. That's a big one for me. Eradicate my injury list.
That's good.
That would be the first time in about 10 years.
I'd-
And then up my podium scale. So literally, I'm just progressing from what I did last year. So it's just
it.
how do I improve? It's literally as simple as that for me.
so,
Yourself, talk to me. 2025, some big changes coming in for you.
so
Business-wise, obviously. So fitness-wise, what are we talking?
fitness-wise, obviously, if for those who don't know, I've got another baby on the way. Thank you.
I mean, not
but-
so good for us because now we've got 2 screaming kids to work around. But
But that also means that I'm going to have at least a month or so of like no sleep.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
probably plus. So you might have a few solos for me.
But in that case, I've kind of broken mine in like quarters.
Yeah.
So I got the Spartan race. This time
Yep.
it's 21 kilometer,
20k August.
August.
21k.
Yeah. So it's the furthest I've ever run in my life.
But if none of you have done a 21k, I haven't. But do your 5k time, times that by 5, pretty much, or by 4,
Yeah.
and then add a shitload of obstacles in the way.
So, for example, like I know people that do half marathons, like the average time is normally around 2 hours, like a
Yeah.
good kind of time. The average at Spartan is 4 hours and a half.
So you're going to get sub 4.
My goal on the Spartan, this is my first goal, is to get at least better than the average.
Oh, it is actually like around 4 hour mark you're looking
So
at.
I'm looking for, so if 4.5 is the average,
4 hour
I
29.
want at least less
You're
than
going to sprint that last 500 metres.
and it looks like I'm doing this one on my own. So realistically, it's just on me just to.
I mean, if I can do it, I can come in, but
It's fine.
snatching or running 21k, I don't know how hand in hand they go.
So that's my I'd say overarching goal of the
Yes.
year. But because of the little one and whatever else, so my first 3 months is just pure hypertrophy still,
Yeah, nice.
with some running.
Get jacked.
Yeah. So this is something I've told my clients, and this is something that you can actually do if running's one of your goals. I don't do it by distance. I do it by time. So for example, this first 4 weeks, I'm running 20 minutes a week.
I thought you said day then.
No, 20 minutes a week
Yeah.
to start off with. And all I'm doing is trying to improve the distance I do in that
In your
20
time.
minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So I did it on the treadmill. I did 10 kilometers an hour. I think I got like nearly 3K in that 20 minutes.
On a
So
treadmill as well. Treadmill is
Is it-
so much slower, I find.
yeah, and it was just like I just wanted to
Steady,
see
fun.
at a slow and steady pace,
Lovely.
like where it kind of
Yeah,
felt.
nice.
And then I want to run outside, but I didn't have time that day. But I want to run outside, and I'd imagine I'll get more towards 4K this weekend. And then it's just trying to increase that distance. That will go up to half an hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, etc.
That's how running should be done.
Yeah, I think too many people, and I was actually discussing with one of my clients this morning, focus too much on a quick distance,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I'm just going to run a 5K and I want to try and get 30 minutes or less, right?
Try to do a 5k, see what
Yeah.
time is, and then you don't run again because it hurt, and then it was just a crap run.
100%.
That's why if you can, like, you've tested yourself for a 5k, but you've not run for 2 years.
Yeah,
Obviously.
exactly. I only run in preparation for the Spartan,
Yeah.
which is also why I do the Spartans every year now.
So you
'Cause
make
it
sure you do
forces
it.
me to do something that I don't like doing, which
Yeah,
is running.
like I haven't been bench pressing for like 6 months now because it's not been in my plan because
Yeah.
it's not Olympic weightlifting, whatever. I wouldn't go and attempt my 120 now. I'd warm up, do a couple of weeks, see what, and then I'd retest.
Mate,
But people just go out and do like, oh, I'm just going to run 5k. I know that's short in distant runners times, but it's a long distance.
Yeah.
Like you walk that, it can be like nearly an hour. Like it's a
100%.
long way.
So my first quarter before my next child's born is just purely hypertrophy, a little bit of running, and I want to try and get down to about 12% body fat, which is probably about 6 kg.
Oh, yeah,
I'd say,
sounds
to lose
nice.
weight. At the moment, I'm not doing it through calories. It's just purely from added cardio,
Yeah.
and the training's pretty damn hard. So if anything, I've actually upped my calories, but I've lost a kg. So we'll see what happens.
Done. That's how it- reverse dieting.
So that's the first quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter is just survive.
You got baby and Spartan.
For anyone that's got a baby, a newborn, or had a newborn, and a toddler and a newborn, which I'm going to have, I know that those few months are going to be really, really hard fitness-wise. So I'm probably going to be training like 2-3 days a week, probably strength-wise. Probably run once a week still to try and keep the running going. Purely and that's why I'm trying to get to the body fat percentage earlier this year.
Yeah.
This is just maintenance.
Yeah,
Just maintain my muscle mass, maintain my running speed, not try and change anything. That'll be until like June. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, baby starts sleeping a bit better.
When's your baby due?
March.
So like 2 months later, your
Yes.
baby's just going to go to
That's-
sleep.
That's what I'm hoping. That by June-ish, I'll have a solid 8 weeks to like bang it out.
Nice.
Get a little bit leaner, run much further. My strength training will go very different all the way to Spartan. And then, like I always do, September to December, pure hypertrophy, back on the build.
Solid. I like it. There's your 3.
That's it. So if I was to break down, sorry, because I do go on tangents.
Does he? We didn't realise. Not at all.
If I was to break down, Get ready for Spartan.
Yeah.
Get lean, as I did last June, but maintain it for the year.
Before the baby.
Before the baby, and then maintain that.
Yeah.
Realistically, if I'm honest, that's it for this year.
Nice. They're good. But obviously you've got your baby as well. That's going to set its own challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Probably, yeah, there's nothing else. I can't say sleep because I'm not going to get any.
No.
And that's the main ones. The main one's Spartan and leanness.
On the note of sleep, I suppose it is a goal of mine. It will go hand in hand with fitness, I suppose. Mine's wake up earlier. Don't start the day in a rush. Like, I could wake up 45 minutes, I'm set, I'm ready, I'm up, pre-made my breakfast, I'm fine, out the door, done. So I'm giving myself like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Good.
Which probably to some people, especially to you, still isn't that long. But for me,
Hour
that
20 is
gives me
enough.
like so much extra time. I found last year, I'm just rushing a lot and I don't want to do that. I want to be organised, I want to be up, out the door, like well-minded already. I feel like that's such a big impact this year.
My biggest advice to like anyone, especially like you who hasn't got kids and whatever else, is get that stuff like locked in now.
Yeah.
Um,
Almost get it beforehand and maintain later on
Yeah.
in life when you need it. It's sort of what you're
'Cause-
doing micro-wise this year.
Yeah, because realistically, if there's one thing I'm really good at, it's having a routine. My
Yeah.
routine is always sound. Pre-having my kids and when I could actually really lock in with my morning and evening routine, and I still do this now to be fair, is wake up 2 hours before I need to go anywhere.
2 hours.
I know, but hear me out. Okay? Like you said, you don't want to start the day stressed, right?
Yeah, of course.
It ruins your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to the gym, even if it's just going to work and you haven't eaten breakfast, you're kind of groggy.
That
It's
was
not
me
that nice,
yesterday. I couldn't.
right?
Oh my God.
So the reason I wake up 2 hours is I'll actually chill out. I'll put some YouTube. I'll put something on the TV.
You watch YouTube that early?
I watched
We're so
Patrick
different.
Bet-David's podcast this morning with Tony
What
Robinson.
time?
This was at 6 a.m.
I was doing clean and jerk in the gym. Nice.
Right. So, but my little one was also watching
Yeah, all right.
Tony Robbins' business
So
advice.
most people, when I grew up, I'd wake up at 6, but like, what was it, CBeebies or CBBC on? Because like Arthur was on TV, those that remember Arthur. And that was all it is. You're like, how old is she now, 2? Watching podcast and interview documentaries at 6 a.m.
Like, I
She's
think,
going to be like the next Prime Minister or something.
I
Wow.
think like her main watches, when it's me, it's probably like a Jeff Nippard. We'll watch some podcasts, maybe Chris Williamson, Patrick Bet-David.
I reckon she watches more of that than I do, because I don't
Probably.
watch many of it.
Wait, right, so let me tell you my daughter's morning routine. So I actually genuinely think, I'm not even saying this,
She's got
it's
better
better
routine
than the
than us.
majority of people
No,
that like go out.
I'd bet money on it, 100%.
Okay? So I tell it to all my clients, and I'm always like, what? Like, how? And I'm just like, it's just preparation, man. Like,
She's 2.
bro, look, this is how it's how you organise, okay?
I love it. Go
This
on.
morning,
This
2
is how
eggs.
you organise, by the way.
This morning, 2 eggs. This is her, not me. 2 eggs.
I genuinely thought
How many
you
clients do you know that even eat 2 eggs, right?
No.
2 eggs,
Yeah.
a banana, blueberries, 2 oranges, okay? Then,
That's your 5 a day. Done.
done. Then, she's chilling with me, watching a podcast, having breakfast together. She's also doing a puzzle next to me whilst we're watching, so she's also getting some
It's ridiculous.
brain activity levels and stuff, trying to help her naming animals as we're doing so. It's like a puzzle, like animal thing. Then I take her, brush our teeth, drop off to nursery, off to work.
So she's had a 5 a day. She's done a puzzle.
12 grams of
She had
protein.
protein. Do
Then
you calculate your 2-year-old's protein intake?
yes, and the calories. I don't tell her, obviously. I'll make sure that she's getting at least 10 to 20 grams per meal of protein, at least.
That's more than you lot watching.
And she probably eats roughly around 12 to 1600 calories a day, give or take, which is actually more than some females that.
No, that is more than most females I know.
Because her dinner will typically be like salmon, like a whole salmon, maybe like minced meat or like a steak, like a whole one, like a half. Maybe like half chicken breasts, like sweet potato, broccoli.
This is ridiculous. So we were talking about like progress and year by year. By the time Isabella is like is like 10, there's no progress. Like done, completed. What's Isabella's yearly goal then? What have you signed her up for?
Mate, she's going to start weightlifting this year.
There's
that's for sure.
there's kids CrossFit. You can compete in kids CrossFit. Give it 4 years.
Let me teach her first. But she's got like a fake dumbbell. I'm going to get her a fake barbell. We'll teach her some lifts. I've already got her punch in the punch bag.
She's going to be in the Olympics, isn't she?
Well, I'm hoping to give her a scholarship to get into private school. That'd be a great thing, right? But the thing is, right, is I'm very much on the side of I don't want her to think that this is abnormal. Do you know what I mean? I think most people, the general population, think that people that track, I'm not telling us to track her macros, but that eat good macros. Yeah. I personally don't think I want to teach her about like, oh, you have to eat amount of calories and whatever else. I just want to teach her that each meal should roughly have a good protein source, some veg and carbs, right? And I want her to just think that this is the norm, that we exercise just every day, just for the sake of it, and we eat healthy. You know, like her cheat meals would be like, she has a croissant probably like 1 to 2 times a week. She's my daughter, obviously.
2-year-old has a cheat meal.
And she might have some dark chocolate. And that's it. Everything else is whole food.
Dark chocolate's just part of my day. Like, that's not a cheat.
You know? Like, obviously like Christmas and stuff, but again, I'm fully aware that when she starts school, a lot of things are going to change. Like, fully aware.
She's going to so neglect all that, you know that.
But I'm very much going to be on the side of, in our household, this is how we eat, we exercise, whatever else. And then, you know, when she's at a birthday party or she's out with friends when she's older, whatever else, if you have a McDonald's, you have a McDonald's.
Yeah, fine.
But it's a one-off. It's not an everyday thing.
Not born into it. I feel like that was my issue growing up. Like, I was never brought up with all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was all abnormal. I didn't know anything of it. Until I really started doing my research, did all my courses, became a PT, was going to the gym for 7 years myself, and then you talk and learn along the way, which is probably most people's cases.
100%. And the thing is that I'm very much, as we've talked about this before, about like maybe doing a school program in the future, or whatever else. I'm very much on the side of I want the future generations to not be where our generation is right now.
The education just isn't there.
Where, you know, the majority of the population within the next few years is going to be obese.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to be the situation, like the next generation.
Generally, the way everything's going, we will turn into WALL-E. You know, the film. Where they're all up in the sky in chairs and you don't have to do anything.
But going back to the actual point.
Sorry,
2025.
2025.
Gone off tangent. 2025.
We haven't filmed in a while, so.
Well, also just hopefully that kind of helped you out in terms of like, as a parent myself, like how I kind of do things, I guess.
Are you smarter than a 2-year-old? No, I'm not. No.
But anyway, so I would say like let's go through like just 3 quick things you can do. That if this is your first year, you've made it, no matter what age you are, 16, 20, 30, 40, 50,
Yeah.
you're starting your fitness journey, what would be the absolute first thing you would do?
You want me to say it?
Doesn't matter. Just
Starting your fitness journey, the number one thing. I don't know if this is going to be the right answer.
say it and we'll just chat
Really
about
throw
it.
me off there. I would say join a gym.
Yeah. Join a gym.
The only way I thought that was the wrong answer is people go running clubs. Not everyone used a gym, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I would say the community and inside spirit of being in the gym, you have to get through a gym door. That's the hardest barrier.
I'd say, yeah, join a gym or like join a fitness community.
Fitness community, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Correct way, yeah. Because
mean,
I feel like that's the
back in the
hardest
day,
part.
like 20 years ago, it would have just been gym.
Yeah.
But because there's like CrossFit now, there's run clubs, like you said, or martial arts. Could be anything.
Yeah.
But just some sort of fitness community base where you've gone in and there's something that you can do that's fitness related.
Yeah.
I would say 100%.
Yeah. I just think the community, like you said, getting to know people, know the trainers, seeing the same faces in the gym massively helps.
I think the second thing would be, personally, I think somewhere that does classes or has trainers.
Yeah.
You know, so this kind of location would actually be ideal. Having somewhere that does do classes with the membership, and then all martial arts is also like that as well. And then if you wanted more objective goal orientated training, then you can go into having a trainer
Like
as well.
specific trainers for that as well, yeah.
Yeah, because the truth be told is you start the class, you build a community, and they've shown statistically that if you join classes, you're much more likely to retain a member at a gym. And if they just walked on a treadmill for the first month, you're probably
100%.
going to get bored. And then if you start with a trainer, you're more likely to even last longer in your fitness journey.
Yeah, 100%. And I think on the base of like classes and having trainers and stuff, you just get so much better progress. Like, not that you get addicted, but you get more out of it. Because like you might, I'm on a treadmill 3 times a week. Cool. 3 weeks later, you still on the treadmill? Yeah, I'm still on treadmill. You haven't lost anything. You're not gained any muscle. Like, if you're following a program, you can still be on the cross trainer 3 times a week or the treadmill, but your coach or the class is telling you A to B, how are you progressing? Because when you are brand new, it is guesswork. You don't know. So do your YouTube research, I don't know, AI, whatever you need to, hire someone, find out how you do it. The best way is classes because they're normally free or inclusive in your membership.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're starting.
Yeah, and I think brain's gone blank, so let's move on. I had a point, but it's gone.
It'll come
number 2, I'm hoping you'll agree, is just actually, you can either track or just look at and keep a diary of how you're currently eating. Not including Christmas Day and New Year's Day, they're obviously anomalies. But in the last week, we're January the 8th now, I think, is how have we been eating? It's just generally, just diary it or track it on an app, is what am I currently eating? And just work your way backwards from there. I've literally just given you a breakdown on what my daughter eats. Realistically, that's how I kind of want my clients to eat.
Literally, it would be ideal. I was 20 grams protein every meal, 5 a day, done.
Yeah, and it's a great starting point. Okay, it's just, okay, cool. I'm currently eating I don't know why croissant's always in my mind, but a croissant for breakfast. For lunch, I'm having a meal deal, and for dinner, I'm having a pretty standard okay meal. Cool. That's most clients most of the time. Maybe you're not even having breakfast.
Not even that.
Okay, cool. What can I change about this? Well, Lucas said eggs are pretty good. Let's have some eggs. Let's have some fruit. Whatever else.
You can literally have the eggs with a croissant. Yeah, more calories. I have the croissant. Cool. Without getting too nerdy, you're having more protein. Better digestion, you'll burn 20% of it off, blah, 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 but it will help your muscle mass, etc., etc. So add your protein into your meals. I'd say that's probably a big thing when it comes to nutrition.
Me and my wife were actually having a discussion last night for like ages, but basically saying like, for me personally, if someone said to me, I've got the choice of a McDonald's or a cake, okay, that's the only 2 options they've got.
I say this all the time.
I'm going to go for the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Why? Because just at least with the macronutrients, it's going to be better than a cake.
If Eddie Abu watches this, we're getting stabbed.
But obviously, I don't want people to eat McDonald's.
No.
But my point is if you look at a macro breakdown, things like cakes, even croissants, if I'm honest, and things like this, aren't the greatest of choices when you've got these other alternatives. It's still unhealthy, but they can be better choices than these.
The spectrum I look at it, because people always say to me, have you not got your sweet tooth anymore? Or like, blah. Yes, I do. I actually love sweet treats,
Same.
everything, of course. Most people do. You wouldn't be human, right? But if I was to eat something and it's outside of my whole food, natural, tracked food, what's getting me as close to that as possible? So I need good protein, carbs and some fats. McDonald's is literally that in a nutshell. The way it's made might not be what's going to agree with me, but if you break down the macros, fine. It's fine. You give me a bit of cake, 2 grams of protein, 41 grams of sugar, 62 grams of carbs, and a whole load of fat. Like, it's not ideal. Yeah. The macro base, how dense it is lower spectrum than the McDonald's or whatever. So, yeah, when you're drunk at 1 a.m. at Euston Station trying to fight for the last train home and you've got your Burger King, not always the worst thing in the world. Because when you've just sunk 20 pints, there's probably something else you need to be looking at.
And I think that's the first thing you need to do after joining the gym, is look at your nutrition and just start making some changes.
Better choices.
Make them. Third one, I would then look at, let's say you're like 3 months in, so you've done that, now you can start tweaking.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Is now you can actually, let's put it this way, a lot of people look at the nitty gritty before they look at just the basics, which is literally the nutrition and exercise and sleep, but nutrition and exercise, right, have you heard that, I don't know, there's chickens get antibiotics, or did you hear that organic's better than non-organic, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, all these things are correct, but if you're currently eating cake for breakfast, or if you're currently eating BS for lunch, realistically, the cow having some antibiotics is the least of your worries.
This is my argument when it comes to protein bars, protein yogurts, blah, blah, X, Y, Z. Are they amazing for you to like an Olympic standard? Olympians use protein shakes and stuff, but no, they're not. Yeah. They do, but no, they're not. They're not part of their diet. They're accessories, right? Is having a protein yogurt better than having some cake or a chocolate bar before dinner, before bed? Absolutely. Yeah. you're getting an extra 20 grams of protein. Whether it's digestible, you agree with it, well, you're intolerant to gut health, there's things you can help with that along the way. But if you're not having any protein, and I can get you having one a day and up your proteins at 140 grams a week, I'm going to get you to eat the protein yogurt.
Yeah, 100%. And it can be as simple as that. And then you and I've said before, like our diets have evolved over these years and years and years and years. You know, my diet's still not perfect. It never will be. But the point is I've looked at the nitty gritty over the last 6 years and changed this, changed that, changed that. Cool. But that's because I've already implemented the basics.
Yeah.
Implement the basics first. Once you're 3, 4, 5 months in, if you want to start having better choices of certain things, fine. But the first 2 things, and they're the main 2 I would always say, is join a fitness community, track your food, look at your food, change some choices, and then if you want to start changing some actual additional things, even with training, the amount of people I see that they start off doing like chest flies and bicep curls and whatever else, all isolation stuff, just that's actually a great thing. Be basic.
Yeah.
There we go. Third thing.
The
be
basics absolutely work. I still do them now.
There we go. Anything else?
There's your win for 2025.
Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. First episode back in the new year. Comment, subscribe. This year is going to be our year.
Yes,
hopefully a lot more guests this year. That's one of our main goals business-wise.
Yeah. This time last year we went a thing.
Yes, true.
We've had 1,000 views. Made a TikTok account.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're on it.
Keep an eye out.
Sweet. Thank you very much.